The following broadcast is a copyrighted production of 412 Communications. Any non-personal retransmission of this broadcast without the express written consent of 412 Communications is hereby prohibited.
Good afternoon from Northeast Pennsylvania. We are in Pittston, Pennsylvania, between the towns of Scranton and Wilkes-Barre, and we are at Revolution Ice Center, which is the home for the 2023 Eastern States Collegiate Hockey League playoffs right here on Delaware Hockey Network. Our first matchup is the quarterfinal round, and it is the 3-seed Rhode Island facing off against the 6-seeded Drexel. Good afternoon. My name's Aaron Elprin alongside James Witherite for the call of this matchup to kick off our weekend. And James, we get two teams that split their 4 meetings during the regular season.
Which, for Drexel, playing really the underdog role here as the 6th seed. Good on them for battling to a split against Rhode Island, led, of course, by veteran head coach Joe Augustine, an absolute fixture in the Rams program. And if there are two things really from my observations that characterize this Rhode Island squad, we've got depth galore, and we've got solid net minding in the form of Curtis Briggs, who is 17-6-1 on the season with a .233 goals against average and a save percentage of .934 in regular season play. Drexel, young team. They're going to have to rise to the occasion again, but it's certainly not out of reach.
And they seem to be a team that has maybe a little bit more of a potent scoring punch than their opposition today. Drexel comes into this game averaging 3.85 goals per game. Certainly a little bit ahead of Rhode Island's 3.32, but it seems that maybe the difference is what Rhode Island does defensively, keeping the puck out of the net. They have a stingy 2.68 goals allowed per game, and a lot of that speaks to the goaltender Curtis Briggs, who their head coach calls the no-doubt MVP of this Rams team.
Having seen him at Fred Rust Arena, home of the University of Delaware earlier in the season, absolutely the cornerstone of this team, and he's proven it time and again. On the Drexel side, though, like you mentioned, they've got some potent offensive power, even at the blue line in the form of Nick Castura, who's averaging well over a point a game, as a defenseman, no less.
Yeah, big numbers for a defenseman. 17 goals, 24 assists, 41 points in 30 games. Really impressive numbers. Certainly the type of player that needs to be marked when he's on the ice, likes having that extra bit of room coming from the back end.
Fans, please welcome to the Revolution Ice Center the Drexel University Dragons and the University of Rhode Island Rams. Fans, good afternoon, and welcome to the Revolution Ice Center in Pittston, Pennsylvania. The Eastern States Collegiate Hockey League presents a quarterfinal matchup between the visiting Drexel University Dragons and the designated home team, the 3rd-seeded Rhode Island Rams. Let's meet today's starting lineups. For the visiting Drexel Dragons, coached by Kyle Zoldi. Starting in goal from Freehold, New Jersey, number 35, Logan Kramsky. On defense, number 10, Nick Urbani. And number 11, Ben Burkhan. At left wing, number 28, Anton Kazitsky. At right wing, number 29, Ryan Sambuco. And starting at center, number 7, Jarrett Ortiz. And now the starting lineup for the Rhode Island Rams, coached by Joe Augustine. Starting in goal from Foster, Rhode Island, number 30, Curtis Briggs. On defense, number 5, Mike Costello. And number 23, Ronan Judge. At left wing, number 25, Kevin Canizette. At right wing, number 14, Dylan Weichselbaumer. And starting at center, number 22, Luke Judge. The on-ice officials for this afternoon's game, as appointed by the Eastern States Collegiate Hockey League and the American Collegiate Hockey Association, are referees Jason Ellis and Jim Keegan, and linesmen Vincent Christian and Eric Ungleich. Fans, at this time, we ask that you please direct your attention to the American flag located behind the Drexel goal as we honor the United States of America and those who defend this nation with the Star-Spangled Banner. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
It's the Eastern States Collegiate Hockey League playoffs live from Revolution Ice Center in Pittston, Pennsylvania, and we're set for a quarterfinal matchup this afternoon. It is the Rhode Island Rams against the Drexel Dragons, the 3 seed against the 6 seed. Thank you for joining our broadcast today on the Delaware Hockey Network. My name is Aaron Elpern alongside James Witherite, and we are set for the opening face-off brought to you by First State Ice Hockey, committed to building the next generation of youth hockey players under the philosophy of one state, one goal. Learn more about their classes, clinics, events, and growing summer program by visiting firststateicehockey.com. And James, this matchup promises to be a good one just based on the regular season meetings. A couple of close games, both either at Drexel or at Rhode Island. A pair of wins for the Dragons, a pair of wins for the Rams, and an opportunity to settle it in the playoffs here today. And it should be a quite a matchup here as we get things started this weekend in the Eastern States Collegiate Hockey League playoffs. Puck is down and we're underway. Puck in the Rhode Island zone as they gain control of it, move it up into the neutral zone, dumped in on goal. Actually, that shot was going to go just wide. Letting that one go was Kevin Canizette, gloved by the left hand of Logan Kramsky, the starting netminder for Drexel. And 13 seconds into the action, we have our first stoppage in play. Face-off coming up in the Drexel zone. Scrambled face-off, and Rhode Island finds control of it. Comes back to the point. Costello's shot gets deflected off into the corner. Picked up there by a Drexel player and then moved into the neutral zone. Costello finds it yet again. Dumps it in along the near boards. Rhode Island has to clear the zone and tag up. That gives Drexel just a little bit of time to get something set up on their breakout. Here they come through the neutral zone on the stick of Jared Ortiz. Puck in the far corner. One-on-one battle for it there. Second Rhode Island player joining the fray, as eventually the Rams find control of it and start the breakout up the right side, but they're unable to get it out there on the far end, and it's kept in then here on the near side, but actually just off sides, and the Dragons have to tag up, giving the Rams plenty of room to move it up ice, get the dump into the offensive zone. They get a change going here with a little bit more than a minute gone in the action. Still no score, but here's a turnover in the offensive zone for Rhode Island. Quick play by the netminder Kramski to deflect that one off into the corner. Rhode Island setting something up again here on the near boards. Cross-ice pass settled down there by Cordero. Can't get it back to the point, but it is kept in. A long shot coming in from Barcelou, that one going wide. And now Drexel trying to move it out here on the near side. Pass comes back towards the bench as there was a change about to happen for Drexel. Smart play there not to come onto the ice, play that puck. First shot on goal coming in there for the Drexel Dragons. Pretty easy right-hand pad save by the netminder Briggs. Drexel keeping it moving here in the offensive zone. Now a 2-on-2 battle for it there. Comes swinging up the far boards. Possession now found there by the Dragons. An opportunity to let a shot go, but a little bit miscommunication there with two different Dragons right on top of each other trying to find control of the puck. Almost a chance in front of the net. Unable to settle that one down, though, was Evan Mudrick. Back into the Drexel zone. This one will go for icing, so a little bit more than 2 minutes in. Both teams trying to get the initial shifts out of the way with and those early game nerves settled down, and should be ready to go here as we're ready for the last 18 minutes of the opening frame.
Rhode Island out guns blazing, Aaron, but off the icing, the Drexel Dragons and Nick Castura in for the face-off with a prime opportunity.
Something up here in the far dot. As the puck is played through the neutral zone, nobody there to accept that long pass. Now a foot race to try to beat out the icing. Unable to get to it there to negate that icing call was number 10, Zachary Bell. So again, we'll have a face-off back in the Rhode Island zone. This one coming up to the glove hand side of the netminder Briggs.
Another opportunity for the Dragons to try to generate some momentum. As you mentioned, they split in the regular season. Both sides taking a pair of games. But as we saw in the first 2 minutes, Rhode Island's breakout has been absolutely strong. They've been able to establish zone time early. They've got to get back there in order to maintain their momentum as the 3 seed.
One of the notable things about the Drexel win against Rhode Island, one of the two Drexel wins, was that came at Rhode Island, at Boss Arena. They are the only team that beat Rhode Island at Boss Arena this year. So that is an idea of it, certainly, that this 6 seed is capable of taking down the 3 seed in this case. Certainly just not the split, but the fact that they're the only team that actually won at Rhode Island. Shot coming in right off the face-off, just going wide. Rams getting the clear and getting it high through the neutral zone. This one will go far enough for icing. It seems that they're trying to set up that long stretch play through the neutral zone, trying to get the puck in behind the defense and allow the speed of their forwards to run it down. First 2 attempts at it, though, ended up as icing calls against them, but seem content to deal with these defensive zone draws as long as eventually they get one of those plays to get set up. Rhode Island again finding possession off this face-off. Kept in, though, at the point. That shot, though, doesn't get through, and now the Rams try to work it through the neutral zone into the offensive zone. And that shot coming in from distance, that was letting that one go with number 27, Cordero, unable to get that one on cage, but they've got control of it again. Cordero setting it up for his defenseman before he heads to the bench for a change. Bell into the offensive zone, takes a shot from the high slot. In on goal, stick save is made by Kramski. Puck is deflected up into the air briefly, but he grabs it with the catching glove. Holds on for a whistle. Now 16:56 remaining in first period play. Still looking for the game's first goal. Shots here early on, 2-1 in favor of Rhode Island. Kelly winning the offensive zone draw for Rhode Island. They get the shot in from the point. Kramski makes the save, but wasn't exactly sure where that puck was initially. Had to kind of check underneath him and then behind him, but eventually realized he did have it underneath, and he holds on for a whistle as we get another faceoff coming up, this time in the far dot of the Drexel zone.
Logan Kramsky, over the course of the season, yes, only an .890 save percentage, but a lot of those goals that he's let up have come off rebounds. He's a solid netminder. His angles are good. He plays good fundamental hockey. And he's been the backstop to this vastly improved Drexel team this season.
Saw his lateral movement there on that play as the puck came across in front of the crease.
His angles are terrific.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Puck here in the Rhode Island zone as they look to establish a little bit of possession, circling around behind the net, looking to start the breakout. Zachary Bell, he's got a man right on him, though. Eventually gets it to Clavet. Then up the right wing wall, played down not by a high stick. That was waved off, and the play keeps moving. Here's the Rams have a little bit of time and space to move it up that far side. Kelly's pass doesn't connect, and now looking to counter quickly and bring it into the offensive zone are the Dragons. Lazine trying to get that play set up there. Puck into the far corner where Lazine has it again. Pass back to the point and then dumped in. That one hit Lazine in the side and then comes out towards the slot. Now a bit of a foot race for that puck here on the near side. Rhode Island finding control. Zachary Bell again looking to lead the breakout up the far wing. That pass is too far for its intended target here on the near side. Now a race for the puck here in the near corner. Drexel winning that race and now starting their breakout with a long pass through the neutral zone. That one doesn't connect. Rams looking to counter quickly. 3-on-2 into the offensive zone. That first pass comes in front. Good defensive play as making sure that there was no room to really get that one set up. Again was Lazine on the play. Rams still keep it moving here in the offensive zone. Played along down the far wall by Ronan Judge. Set up here in the near corner as they try to make sure they keep it moving in the near corner and then in behind the net, but it comes out to the near side, and now looking to wheel it up ice is Barrett Genovese. Genovese into the offensive zone, now chasing after the defenseman to try to get some possession here set up. Puck comes away from both of those players and then kept in the zone by the Dragons. Played along by McGinley. McGinley and Kostura down in that far corner as the puck comes out to the point. Eventually settled down there. Played out towards the slot. Just a little bit of difficulty handling that pass originally by Matt Harris. He was in a pretty good spot to get a shot away. Eventually the defense got around him. Puck comes out to the neutral zone. Dragons sending it right back in again. Ian Hoover making sure it got right back into the offensive zone. Unable to really set up any forecheck, though, in that time into the offensive zone, and the Rams come back in the other direction. Shot from just inside the blue line, easily handled by the stick of Kramsky. That one coming in by Dylan Weichselbaumer. Opportunity for the Dragons to move it up the near side. Ian Hoover gains the neutral zone red line, then dumps it in. Netminder Briggs looks to start the breakout, but Hoover comes in from his point position to let a shot go. Second chance, and this one in on net. Good save by the netminder Briggs, and he hangs on for a whistle.
So after that early flurry of Rhode Island attacking momentum, the Drexel Dragons in the last 4 minutes, I should say, have really taken it to the Rams, generating more zone time, starting to generate shots. Now they've got an attacking zone face-off. Nick Castora, a big part of that. Ian Hoover at the near point. Avon Grove High School grad, along with Caleb Elatar, freshman on this team. They've been a big component to the transition game so far for Drexel, and now the Dragons are going to head to the power play.
See the tripping call signaled as we see who's heading to the penalty box in this case. Finally, a Rhode Island player drifts over towards the box. It's going to be Ethan Cordero taking the penalty in this case. 2 minutes for tripping. So an opportunity here, still somewhat early in the first period for the Drexel Dragons to go on the power play and a chance to open up the scoring here in this matchup. This, of course, a Primo Power Play. You too can score on the Primo Power Play. Visit your local neighborhood Primo Hoagies, 1278 Baltimore Pike in Kennett Square, Pennsylvania, to experience Primo's old-fashioned style Italian specialty sandwiches. It's not just a hoagie, it's a Primo. Rhode Island attempting the clear, but unable to get it out of the zone. Kept in there at the far point. Nick Urbani setting it up there. He's got Ortiz up top with him. Urbani now with the puck on his stick again at the midpoint. One-timer coming in from the right-hand side. Looked like that was handled by the stick of the netminder Briggs, as it was Sambuco setting up that big one-timer there from the right wing point. Back into the offensive zone come the Dragons. They try to get something set up here on the near wall. McGinley spinning it down low. It's going to be a Rhode Island player getting to it first there around the far side of the net. They can't get it out of the zone, though. As the Dragons keep it in, now look to set up their formation here on the power play. Comes back to the point. Nick Urbani has to leave his skates in order to keep that one in. It ends up coming across the blue line before Ryan Sambuco can grab a hold of it. And we get the offsides call with 56 seconds now remaining on the power play.
Good puck movement from Drexel, especially just inside the blue line. Aside from that bobble, they still need to work in, compress the umbrella, and generate some shots and try to force Briggs to move post to post.
The original setup was there. They just didn't really move it very well around the perimeter. But still plenty of time left here on this power play with 51 seconds remaining on the man advantage. Getting away from some pressure there was Nick Kostura, the dangerous defenseman, the leading scorer for this Drexel Dragons team. Kostura gets knocked down in front of the Rhode Island bench, and that allows the Rams to get it clear. Sent down the length of the ice by the stick of Dennis Engelson. Starting the breakout now is Lazine. Gets that pass up the far wall into the offensive zone. This is Anton Kaczynski. Pass up towards the midpoint. Burkhand there with it. Now along the right wing at the top of the circle, that pass neatly coming across from Kostura. Just couldn't quite get that play set up as he had a player driving towards that far post. Kostura now walking the blue line as he looks for an angle. Finally sees a little bit of a lane and lets that shot go. Briggs had plenty of a good view of that, though. Threw the left-hand catching glove up, made the save, and now just 5 seconds remaining on this power play.
The chance is starting to come in for the Dragons, but as you mentioned, Curtis Briggs answering every call so far. Only 2 shots on goal during this power play so far, but a number of chances off goal, and Briggs doing what Briggs does.
Shot coming in right off the one faceoff for Drexel, but it didn't get through traffic. And that stoppage in play will bring an end to the Drexel power play, so the Rhode Island Rams have killed off the first penalty of the game as we are under 12 minutes to play in the first period. 11:39 remaining in a 0-0 tie from our first quarterfinal game at the Eastern States Collegiate Hockey League playoffs right here on the Delaware Hockey Network. Rams win control of the faceoff. Now look to break it out here on the near side. Bouncing puck that ends up on a Drexel Dragon stick. Shot coming in from the point. That one gets deflected after it left the stick of Ben Burkhand. That one goes up and out of play, so another stoppage now with 11:28 remaining in period number 1.
Burkhand, we were talking about his stat line a little bit before the game. No goals on the season, but 18 assists. Gotta love a playmaker like that at the blue line, Aaron.
And he's got a counterpart as well from Rhode Island, and Mike Costello, the blue liner number 5 in the Rams uniform.
23 hours.
Yeah, 0 goals, 23 assists. I like those 2 stat lines. Playmaking defensemen are my type of offensive defenseman. Puck is settled down, and now the breakout comes up that far wall. Speed through the neutral zone is Zachary Bell, and they get inside the blue line, but they can't really establish any zone time. Engelson losing control of that one, and then in the other direction, that shot coming in hard towards the net by Matt Harris, just unable to find the cage with that one. Missed by a couple feet wide of that left post. Face-off going to be coming up here where? In the neutral zone?
Looks to be just in front of the Rhode Island bench, and for a scoreless first 9 minutes and 6 seconds, it's been a mighty eventful scoreless 9 minutes and 6 seconds, Aaron.
Hasn't exactly been a boring opening 9 minutes, but still no real high danger chances, no opportunities that you're like, oh, wow, that was a surprising one that didn't end up in the back of the net. It's a 0-0 game, but I'm not surprised it's a 0-0 game based on the way it's gone up to this point. Play here in the Rhode Island zone as they look to establish a little bit of a breakout up that far wall. Good pressure there in the offensive zone by Drexel. 2 forwards there on the forecheck, making it somewhat difficult for the Rams to get it going up that far wall. Puck is kept in at the point. Now an opportunity to get a shot in on goal. That one kind of handcuffed the netminder as it was Genovese letting it go. It went off the right shoulder of Briggs. Still managed to make plenty of, got enough on that one to make the save and deflected it up and out of play. 10:18 now remaining in the period as shots are now even in this one, 5-5, along with the score of 0-0.
Barrett Genovese on the season, only 1 assist in 31 games played, but he's certainly proven a big component of this team in the bottom 6. Big energy guy for the Drexel side.
Drexel winning control off the faceoff. Castura sends it down low. See who can win this 2-on-2 battle for a loose puck. Rhode Island gets that one out to center ice. Drexel at least causing some troubles there just outside of the Rhode Island blue line, and they end up causing a loose puck, and now they set up a regroup along their own blue line. First pass doesn't connect. They try it again here from that far boards rather, and now they get it into the offensive zone. Here's an opportunity, backhand pass. Castura looking for a trailer there coming into the offensive zone. Nifty looking pass, didn't quite connect however. Pressure still being set up down low by the Dragons as that pass came out towards the slot. Shot coming in from the point, that one right in on goal. Another good save by Briggs. He's been asked to make a couple saves here in the last few moments. Player was changing there from Drexel and now having to go back and pick it up inside of his own zone is Nick Urbani. Sends a pass up the near wall and then into the offensive end is Castor. We have a delayed penalty coming up here as you see the near side official signaling a holding call. See which side this is going on. See the Drexel player with the palm upturned. That is the international sign for I just took a penalty that I don't believe was actually a penalty. In this case, it is Nick Castura showing the upturned palm, and it's going to be a power play now coming up for Rhode Island. We already had an opportunity to get a look at the Drexel power play. Now an opportunity for the Rams with the man advantage.
So a Delaware trash can cleaning penalty kill coming up.
And Drexel's going to have to set up that PK right away as Rhode Island wins the faceoff. Now trying to get that power play formation going. They do manage to connect on a couple of passes. Now have it set up on the far side. Back over to the near side, but that one too hot for Shane Mulhern. And puck comes back out to the neutral zone. Cordero into the offensive zone, and they get it set up along the point. This is going to be Shaw getting it back to the midpoint for Zachary Bell. Now Shaw walking in from the left-hand wall. Big crowd of bodies in front of the net. Shot was let go, but it ended up hitting another couple of those bodies and ended up going wide. And now Drexel gets the clear, sending this one the length of the ice. First 50 seconds of this penalty have been killed. Briggs out, setting up the breakout with a little bit of light pressure coming in from Drexel. Rhode Island now moving it up the near walls into the offensive zone is Mike Costello. A little bit of help there from Weichselbaumer. Trying to get it just a little bit further into the offensive zone. It's taking 4 different Rhode Island players to establish possession. Finally, it's going to be Costello grabbing control of it and sending it around behind the boards, behind the goal. Delayed penalty coming up here as there's another Drexel penalty coming up. As you saw the netminder Briggs quickly out of the net. And in this case, it's going to be number 27 taking the penalty, and that is Ian Hoover. So 2 penalties, 2 players in the box for Drexel, and it's going to be a 5-on-3 for URI. 38 seconds worth of a 5-on-3, in fact. So this is a big opportunity here in the first period to really break this game open for Rhode Island.
Prime chance, absolutely. You've got the 2 defensive stalwarts for this Drexel team on the sidelines for half a minute. If Rhode Island's going to pounce and turn momentum back in their favor, now's the opportunity to do it. Great rebound chance right there, but Kramsky coming up with the initial save, and he had help down in front.
That was the save that Drexel needed to kill off at least the first part of the 5-on-3 part. See what Rhode Island's trying to do here with this man advantage. They're really trying to get it started in from up top and then collapse in towards the net and get a great opportunity from in tight, just like this as they start walking in. This is Costello. Cross-ice pass. Costello now has it back again here at the left point. Shot in on goal. 2 rebound opportunities. Kramsky makes the original save, then covers up the 2 second chance opportunities. And the first penalty has expired. So now just a minute 19 of the second penalty against Drexel. And at least in the early going, the netminder Kramsky doing his part to help Drexel kill off this pair of penalties midway through the first period. So this next faceoff will come up to the right of the netminder Logan Kramsky. Rhode Island making a couple of changes to get their second unit out there for this man advantage. They win control of the faceoff. Back to the point to Jonathan Shaw. Shaw along to Mulhern. Backhand pass behind the net. Caught there by Fagan. Fagan now back towards the point. Settled down by Shaw. Now over to the right side. Shaw asking for it back again. Instead, it's going to be fed down low by Ronan Judge. Judge now has it here again on the far side. He's got one man on him, second man going over there, but Judge gets away from the pressure. Now tries to feed that pass out in front. Just couldn't quite get that through the defenseman, as it was Cordero looking for that pass in a high danger area. Good play on the penalty kill by the Drexel defenseman. Drexel now forcing a turnover here in the offensive zone. That's Kastura causing some difficulty for the breakout. Eventually, though, Rhode Island does move it through the neutral zone. And now across the blue line into the offensive zone, it's going to be Thomas Fagan, but he takes a big hit there, loses his footing, and that allows the Dragons to get the clear. Now just 25 seconds remaining on this second penalty. Dragons are well on their way towards killing off an extended period of time down a man. Errant pass goes off of a stick and then allows the Dragons one more chance to send that one the length of the ice. Now just 8 seconds remaining here on the power play. One last gasp here for the Rhode Island Rams, as carrying it up ice into the offensive zone is going to be Cordero. Cordero lets the shot go from just inside the dot. Right arm save made by Kramsky. Penalty has expired, but the Rams still keep it moving here in the offensive zone. Cordero's shot gets deflected, doesn't get up in on the cage. And then Drexel gets the puck cleared out to the neutral zone, as they look to make some changes now, do the Rhode Island Rams, as Drexel starts their breakout behind the net.
Carver working behind the cage now. Lazine floating the puck ahead to Anton Kazitsky. Almost a point-a-game player, solid forward, but couldn't get through the neutral zone as Bell turns play back out.
Little trap look set up there by the Rams here on the near boards, as they seem to invite Drexel to make that pass up the near wall. Then had all three players converging on the Drexel Dragon, trying to carry it out of the zone. Ended up in a quick return back into the zone. Then the shot on goal. Kramsky makes the glove save, hangs on for another whistle. 5:07 now remaining here in period number one. Still no score, but plenty of excitement.
No question about that. 10 shots, 10 saves for the veteran netminder Logan Kramsky, and he's done a great job controlling rebounds and minimizing Rhode Island's second chance opportunities in a big, big way.
Scramble for a loose puck off the faceoff, eventually comes across the blue line. Rhode Island sending it right back into the offensive zone. Dragons, though, getting some possession set up. Nice play to spin away from that pressure by McGinley, and he gets it up to the left wing wall, and they get it into the neutral zone and now across the blue line. Soft shot in on goal by Matt Harris. Briggs decides that he's just going to cover that one up and make sure that there's no continued play in front of him. 4 minutes and 45 seconds remaining in the first period. Still no score in this contest. And if you've been injured on the job or in a car accident, you know how challenging and overwhelming the recovery process can be. That's why having a trusted and caring representative by your side is essential to helping you navigate the complex world of workers' compensation and personal injury. The Law Office of Long and Greenberg will guide you through every step of the process, from filing your claim to representing you in hearings and appeals. Call the Law Office of Long and Greenberg, 302-466-LONG, to schedule a free consultation. That is 302-466-LONG. Shot coming in from the defenseman Costello, handled by the stick of Kramsky, as it seems to be the Rhode Island Rams gaining a touch of the momentum here in this contest over the last few minutes. Obviously, the two penalties against Drexel helping that cause, but the shot advantage now starting to be tipped in favor of the Rams, 11-7, as you see on the graphic.
Of course, they were able to build some momentum on the 38 seconds of a two-man advantage they had. But Logan Kramsky, as we've said before, rock solid for the Dragons so far tonight.
Has to be again right there, as he's called on to make a arm save right off the draw. A little bit of a set play by the Rams right off the faceoff, and a good opportunity. But again, Kramsky up to that challenge, his 12th save of the afternoon.
And Costello just broke up another Drexel breakout attempt. So we've got pressure in the neutral zone and right at the blue line too, as here the Dragons burst through. But as we've seen about the past 5-6 minutes, Aaron, Drexel's had a little bit of a tougher time getting out of their zone.
And even when they do get it up ice and into the opponent's zone, it's been a lot of one and done, if even that one shot opportunity.
Absolutely. They need to be able to sustain momentum a little bit better if they want to get a third win this season against the Rams.
Perfect example there of how Rhode Island has had a fairly easy time of breaking it out. They get it up into the offensive zone, unable to really establish something, though, as Cordero ended up getting taken down before he got his shot away. That one is sent the length of the ice, and now we have a bit of a controversial icing call as it was a very late whistle, and now you have a little bit of an argument coming from the Drexel side of things. That puck didn't have a whole lot of momentum as it got into the Rhode Island zone. I'm not even sure it got to the goal line, but Rams get the call. They get the icing and the face-off here in the offensive zone to the blocker hand side of Logan Kramsky. So on for the face-off. It's going to be number 7, Jared Ortiz for Drexel, squaring off against Jacob Kelly. Neither player really gets much of an advantage off the draw, but it's going to be Sambuco driving it through the neutral zone and dumping it into the offensive end. Some pressure being set up there by Zach Sprung as he throws a hit, but Rhode Island keeps possession and now starts it up the near side. Puck going out of play, however, and we get a stoppage with now 2:58 remaining in the first period. 19 shots on goal so far, still looking for that first goal, however.
Does it come from Ben Burkhan here at the point?
It would be his first of the year.
18 assists, though, so he's made the chances happen. He just hasn't finished.
Rhode Island with possession here along their own goal line. Spinning away from a check, there was Jonathan Shaw. Now he has a little bit of room to start the breakout. Connects on that first pass to Cud, but they can't quite get it moving from that point, and now the two of them have to go back into that near corner. Shaw eventually gets that puck away from a Drexel Dragon stick, and it comes through the neutral zone. Foot race for it. Leaving his feet to end up making that play was number 11, Ben Burkhan. He had a man right on top of him, though. He had to make sure he got plenty of the stick on that puck to get it away from that dangerous situation that seemed to be developing. He definitely didn't have the speed on the play, but still managed to do what he needed to do just inside of his blue line. Burkhan now banks it off the near glass to get it into the offensive zone. Settled down there by Clavet, and he reverses course, and it comes up this near side boards. That pass doesn't connect, though, and now it's going to be a chance for the Dragons to get it back across the blue line. They get it into the offensive zone, but they hand possession right back to the Rams, and now Bell leads the breakout and into the offensive zone. Dragons take the puck away and try to set it up in behind the net. Bank pass, that one doesn't quite get where it's intended. Now Nick Urbani has to swing it along to this near side. That one doesn't get out of the zone, and now an opportunity for the Rams to get a counter play set up there. Getting knocked to the ice, unable to get that shot away in that occasion was Jackson Shevlin.
Just couldn't bring the puck down, Aaron.
Back through the neutral zone, the Rams come back into the offensive end. They have all the momentum from the last 5 to 8 minutes of this game. We have a broken stick there on the far end. That's going to result in a penalty. The slashing call is made is right in front of the Drexel bench. Player had his stick not only slashed out of his hands, but into 2 pieces. So that's going to be a penalty against Drexel. I missaw what happened there. It was the offending player that ended up breaking his stick on the slash. So not only is that a 2-minute penalty against Evan Mudrick, but that's an expensive one at that. So 1:16 to go in the period. 2 minutes up on the board for a Rhode Island power play. And a real good opportunity here late in the period on the Primo power play. You too can score on the Primo power play. Visit your local neighborhood Primo Hoagies, 1278 Baltimore Pike in Kennett Square, Pennsylvania, to experience Primo's old-fashioned style Italian specialty sandwiches. It's not just a hoagie, it's a Primo.
2 minutes for slashing. Time was held at 18 minutes, 44 seconds in the first period. But the Primo slashing at 18:44. There's 1 minute remaining in the period. The men have not done anything.
Costello catching that pass back at the point, stepped in to let that shot go. Puck wasn't there for him to let it go, and now an opportunity with numbers. Shot in on goal on the PK opportunity, as it was the leading scorer Costero with that chance. Good save being made by Briggs. Back come the Rams, still 35 seconds to go in the period as they look for at least a little bit more of an opportunity to set up that power play. Get control of it, but this could be an opportunity. Shorthanded Costero almost had a step there in the neutral zone with that loose puck. Rams come back across the blue line. Backhand pass in front of the net, and a quick snapshot taken. That one finds the top near corner. Dylan Weichselbaumer with a pinpoint shot. Under 20 seconds to go in the period. The Rhode Island Rams have the first goal of the game, and it's Dylan Weichselbaumer's 15th of the season to give the Rams the advantage here, 1-0, late in the first period.
Weichselbaumer gains the headman pass from Luke Judge, who is taken down in the high slot. Finds the top of the cage, beats Kramsky, and gives the Rams the early lead.
Still 6 seconds remaining here in the period. Maybe enough time for the Rams to get one more opportunity. They get that pass out in front, just enough time to get that shot away.
Not in time.
Not sure it would have counted, I agree there, James, but looked like they were running out of time, but still got that pass out in front to Jonathan Shaw. Got it away as the buzzer was sounding. Probably wouldn't have counted, but just a little bit of added extra momentum at the end of the frame for the Rhode Island Rams.
And through one period, the score is Rhode Island 1, Drexel 0. First period shots on goal, Rhode Island 14, Drexel 6.
There's nothing all-American quite like a good old-fashioned barbecue. Sid's Barbecue and Jerky brings the most tender and flavorful pulled pork, brisket, and barbecue chicken to the tri-state area and is sure to turn your next gathering into a truly all-American event. Visit Sid's on Ridge Road in Claymont, Delaware, or place your next catering order at sidsbbqandjerky.com.
Let's face it, saving for retirement doesn't happen overnight. It takes planning, and Limestone Pension Associates has spent the past 35 years helping small businesses do just that. Limestone specializes in crafting, planning, and handling the day-to-day administration of qualified pension plans tailor-fit to your company's needs and objectives. To schedule a consultation, call 302-479-8817 or visit limestonepension.net to learn more.
Bridges have connected people for centuries. When it comes to helping small businesses build bridges with the people they serve, there's a new gold standard. 412 Communications offers a uniquely comprehensive array of media solutions to help your brand establish and maintain strong, lasting connections with your clientele.
Watching the game or tailgating with friends? Score big and serve in style with Primo Hoagies party trays and sampler platters. There is no bigger crowd pleaser than Primo Hoagies, made only with the highest quality Thuman's meats and cheese, sliced fresh to order and served on Primo's award-winning seeded rolls. You get the best tasting hoagies in the area and save yourself the prep time. Stop into your local neighborhood Primo Hoagies on Baltimore Pike in Kennett Square, Pennsylvania, or order your tray online at primohoagies.com. It's not just a hoagie, it's a Primo.
Think about it. The trash and recycling bins in our homes, even with normal use, are places where harmful bacteria like Salmonella and E. coli can multiply by the thousands. But like anyone, you want to keep your home and your family as healthy as possible. Delaware Trash Can Cleaning can help. They sanitize your trash cans with high-pressure hot water jets that can kill over 99% of the germs and bacteria in your cans in just a few minutes. To schedule your first cleaning, call 302-310-9075 or visit DelawareTrashCanCleaning.com.
time for the second period. Let's head back upstairs to James Witherite.
Welcome back into the Delaware Hockey Network, presented by the Law Office of Long and Greenberg. We are live from the Eastern States Collegiate Hockey League 2023 postseason tournament. Logan Kramsky, 13 saves on 14 shots. A solid first period from him, but Drexel's got to do better on the breakout, Aaron Alpern, if they want to get back into this hockey game.
Yeah, the goaltenders were the show in the first period. As James mentioned, Logan Kramsky with 13 of 14 saves. Curtis Briggs at the other side for the Rams, he was perfect, 8 of 8 stops for the Pontiac High School product. But as mentioned there, it is the breakout and the difficulty that Rhode Island is causing for the Drexel breakout that has given them this advantage here. Seemed to wear them out as the period went on, causing more and more turnovers as the Dragons were trying to work the puck up ice. See whether or not they can solve that, see what adjustments each side make as we get ready for second period play. And the second period is brought to you by the Hooper family, longtime supporters of Delaware Blue Hens hockey and of today's coverage on the Delaware Hockey Network. Underway here in period number 2, Rhode Island with possession here along the near wall, and starting the breakout up the near side is Ronan Judge. Gets it into the offensive zone, but not very deep into the offensive zone. It's all the way back onto the stick of Costello in his own end. His breakout pass doesn't really succeed up the near wall, and the Dragons get it back in across the blue line. Really unable to set up much possession, though. And now back through the neutral zone is going to be Kevin Canizet. Canizet letting his shot go. It looked like it might have gotten deflected as he let it go. Rams, though, keep possession here. Backhand pass blind out towards the front of the net. First player awaiting that one was a blue uniformed Drexel Dragon, and they get the clear, sending it all the way back deep into the Rams territory. Breakout pass is intercepted. Now a chance to set something up down low. Nice look as the sauce pass in front of the net by Costura just bounced over the stick in front. Looked like that was a golden opportunity for Drexel to get their first one of the game, but the pass just bounced a little bit astray. Hit attempt there in the corner. Drexel player losing his feet,
Jimmy
and then maybe
Bell
hearing
got
it.
stood up there.
Yeah, looked like he heard a little bit of a conversation there from the Rhode Island player after that hit. Rams breakout doesn't succeed. Now we have a penalty coming up here. Delayed call coming up against Rhode Island. Drexel with the puck and an opportunity to get the shot in on goal. Good shot taken there by Emil Lindvall with the delayed penalty. The shot right in on goal. Nice opportunity, and a further opportunity coming up over the next 2 minutes as the Dragons will get another opportunity on the power play.
Slashing the call here, going against Mike Costello. And he slams the door a little bit too hard for it to latch. The universal sign for I really didn't agree with that call.
Really doesn't change the referee's opinion, I've found over time, but might as well express whatever you feel like expressing once you get into the penalty box. I've certainly been guilty of that myself 1 or 2 times in the past. Drexel with a quick setup right off the draw. They work it over to the far side and ripping the hard wrist shot past the netminder. It's number 29, Ryan Sambuca. The beautiful shot there to get Drexel even there. It's their second opportunity on the power play, and they take advantage with a beautiful play right off the faceoff. See the setup as it comes across to Sambuco. Slides across to give himself the room he needed, and then rips the hard wrist shot past the netminder Briggs. It's a 1-1 hockey game.
Cross slot pass. Sambuco goes top shelf. He gets himself his 19th of the season.
Back into the Drexel zone. It's going to be Rhode Island setting it up. Low to high play, and the shot comes in from the point. That one looked like it was just going wide after Barcelou let the wrist shot go. Rams keep possession, and now Barcelou comes in from his point position to make sure they keep possession. Circles the net, but he loses possession of it there. Good defensive play as getting that puck off with his stick was number 11, Burkham. Drexel back into the offensive zone here. Pass comes back towards the slot. Quick turnaround shot. That one right in on goal as it was Ortiz getting a lot on that one right from the mid-slot, and a nice save by Briggs. Already this period, he has been tested a couple of times. One has gotten past him. That time he was up to the challenge. Puck on the far side as Rhode Island keeps it moving in the offensive zone. It comes out to the near wall. Backhand pass doesn't get to the slot. And now the Dragons have an opportunity to move it up ice. Getting it across the blue line is going to be Urbani. Lets a shot go from just a couple of steps inside the blue line. That one is gloved down by Briggs, and he hangs on for a whistle. Now 17-16 remaining in period number 2. Score is now tied at 1 after both teams exchanged power play goals. It was Rhode Island getting theirs very late in the first period. The answer coming from the Drexel Dragons here in period number 2. Ryan Sambuco getting the equalizer. Similar looking play right off the face-off there, but that shot unable to be put in on net, as it was Plotkin getting the setup there off the face-off. His shot just missing wide. Rams now looking to execute a breakout on the near wall. Get it out to center ice, but it's going to be intercepted there. Now back across the blue line is Castura. Castura has a step on the defenseman. He carries it around the net, takes a little bit of a bump there. Could have been a holding call, but none coming. Puck comes to the point. Plotkin keeps it in yet again for Drexel. As they've had a good start here to this period, they've already gotten a power play and a power play goal. But now they're going to end up taking a penalty of their own. That one's a sloppy one, as they had plenty of zone time established. And then the offensive zone penalty from number 6, Matt Harris, somewhat behind the play as well. That might put a little bit of a wrench in the momentum of the Dragons, as now they have to kill off a penalty.
Looks like we've got coincidentals here, Aaron.
Oh, yeah. What's the second penalty?
Not only does Harris go to the box, but so does Dimitri Forand on the other side.
Huh. I'm going to be interested to hear what the call on the Rhode Island player was there. Was maybe an embellishment call? That would be my only guess, unless it was something behind the play that I didn't see. But we had the 2 penalties up on the board and ready to go here with some 4-on-4 play.
Open ice benefits the team with the speed advantage, and so far that's been Rhode Island with the superior transition.
Right now, though, it's Drexel with possession. They get it set up here in the offensive zone. Back to the point, shot in on goal. That one just missing the net, as loading up a good hard wrist shot there from the point was Evan Mudrick. Through the neutral zone and in across the blue line now come the Rams. That shot coming in from distance. Cramsey makes the initial save. There was a rebound there just for a brief time, but eventually it was settled down and carried out of the zone by Lazine. Into the offensive end come the Dragons. Shot coming in from distance. Easy blocker save by Briggs. Possession still set up here by Mudrick at the near wall. Gets it down low where Nick Urbani is. Urbani spins away from one check and now sends it back down low, getting that cycle game working with Lazine. Lazine up the far wall, then back down low where Mudrick has it now in the far corner. Unable to maintain possession, though. Knocking him off that one on the play was number 10, Zachary Bell. Bell with a pass off the far wall where it banks over to Ronan Judge. Judge gets it back to Bell, but he's unable to step around the defenseman. And now the Dragons look to move it through the neutral zone. In across the blue line, and now driving in towards the net, moves to the backhand. Pretty move and a pretty finish. Anton Kaczynski with the finish on the backhand, and the Dragons strike twice in the first 5 minutes of the second period. Drexel now leading 2-1.
Anton Kaczynski with his 12th of the year. Time and space up the left wing boards. He circles Thomas Fagan, crosses over to the backhand, walking in. Even strength goal, 4:47 into the second period. And now the Dragons, the underdogs here, have taken the lead.
We mentioned that the time and space might be in favor of Rhode Island with this 4-on-4, but certainly in that occasion the defensive coverage broke down a little bit for Rhode Island, as it looked like there was a miscommunication there in the defensive zone as to who had the backside help. That allowed Kaczynski the free lane to the near post, and then the pretty finish in front of the net. It's a 2-1 hockey game in favor of the Dragons. They have possession here below our broadcast position again. Jared Ortiz getting that one free, but Rhode Island finding it and getting it into the offensive zone here on the far side. Going to be Fagan looking to make good, and he does so by making the pass across in front, and putting that one home is Jonathan Shaw. The answer in quick succession. After the Dragons make it a 2-1 game, the Rams come right back and Jonathan Shaw ties it up. It's now a 2-2 hockey game. See Fagan pick up that puck in the offensive zone. He was over here playing defense on the goal that the Dragons scored. Obviously not hanging his head after that moment. He gets up into the offensive zone, grabs a loose puck, knows he has a man in the slot, makes a perfect pass, and then a great finish by Jonathan Shaw. And we're back to even here in this one, James.
A flair for the dramatic, to say the absolute least of it, Aaron, is after Kazitsky's goal, Jonathan Shaw comes barreling right back in the 6th minute of the second period.
And
Makes this a 2-2 game.
Yeah, Kazitsky's goal, the individual effort after catching the pass in the neutral zone. The response from Rhode Island, more of a team play, finding that loose puck and getting that quick pass across, forcing the goaltender to move from side to side. Well set up play and a good finish. It's a 2-2 hockey game as we're approaching the halfway mark of regulation. Drexel working on the breakout here on the near side. They get the puck through the neutral zone. No icing on this play as it went past Kostura and a Rhode Island player in the neutral zone. Rams reversing course behind the net, now looking to break it out on the near side. A rolling puck into the neutral zone, sent right back into the offensive zone by Drexel. Breaks out of his net, starting the breakout himself with a pass up the far wall. Drexel, though, intercepting that, quickly throwing it back in on net. That shot in on goal by Evan Mudrick. Now a battle for a loose puck against the near wall. Rhode Island getting it free and now setting up some possession behind the net. Zachary Bell has it there as he looks to get it going out of the zone. Two players from Drexel right on top of him, though, and he has to reverse course over to this near side. Now banked off the near glass and through the neutral zone, back into Drexel territory. Picking it up there is Ethan Cordero. Sorry, wrong team there, as that was Hoover starting the breakout. Shot coming in as goaltender had to get out of the way of that one. That one either would have hit him in the head or went high and wide. He chose to get his head out of the way. Shot missing and going off the back glass, then coming out to the neutral zone. Now Rhode Island with an opportunity to slow things down and get things set up in behind their net as the pass from behind the cage from Bell to Clavet. Into the neutral zone and then across the blue line. Now setting up some pressure here in the near corner. That is Dimitri Forehand. Puck comes out towards the wall, now back towards the point. That shot being taken there. Got deflected at about the hash marks, but the deflection, unfortunately, from the Rams' perspective, going wide of the net. Drexel finding control of it here in the neutral zone. That first pass doesn't connect. Then Hoover ends up running his man over as he it gets the better part of what ends up being a reverse hit in the neutral zone after the dump hit. Unable to establish any zone time off of that play, though, and Hoover has to go back into his own end before floating a pass through the neutral zone. Nobody there to accept that one, and this one's going to be icing on the play as Ronan Judge wins the foot race back into his own zone. 11:44 now remaining in second period play. It was a 1-0 game after one period. 3 goals here already in the first 8 minutes as Drexel got 2 quickly and took the lead. Rhode Island got back to even. That's where we stand right now with this faceoff coming up inside the Drexel zone.
Good hustle from Ronan Judge there to force the icing, set up the attacking zone draw, but Drexel's breakout certainly improved here in the second period after they've come back to the dressing room, and a quick shot from Nick Urbani right into the glove of Briggs.
They had numbers there in that transition play. It was crowded. It was a 4-on-3 into the offensive zone. Maybe could have done a little bit more work to set something up there. But as James mentioned, some better work being done in terms of the Drexel breakout here in this period. Obviously, some adjustments being made, and something that the coaching staff saw in that first period that they've adjusted to here in the second period, at least so far. There's a good opportunity, as getting an opportunity to let that hard shot go was Matt Harris. Puck came over towards him on the left wing wall. Hard wrist shot right in on goal. Briggs makes the save. And the score stays 2-2 with 11:25 remaining in the second period. If you're like me, healthy living is important to you, and Delaware Trash Can Cleaning can help you and your family stay healthy at home with periodic sanitation and disinfecting of your trash and recycling bins. Visit DelawareTrashCanCleaning.com today to schedule your first cleaning. Drexel establishing more offensive zone time here as this period goes on. They get a nice pass quickly out in front as the low-high game being played here. Down low, they get that nice play set up. Pat McGinley unable to get that one past the netminder after receiving a golden pass right on the tape in front of the goaltender. Still in the offensive zone here for Drexel. They get that puck dislodged from that far wall, winning a 2-on-2 battle. Pass just a little bit off back to the point man. Almost a too many men on the ice penalty. There is Drexel making a change. Rhode Island back into the offensive zone. Hard shot coming in on goal and a nice save on the Thomas Fagan wrist shot. Drexel reversing course and looking to move it up ice. First pass is connected on, and Castura gets it in across the blue line. Now some pressure being put on by Jared Ortiz here in this near corner. Rhode Island, though, pretty neatly evading that pressure, and now going to be carried in across the blue line by Ethan Cordero.
Had to put on the brakes there momentarily, an offside situation with Rhode Island in the midst of a change. Heads-up play there by Cordero to put on the brakes just above the blue line and keep play alive.
Cordero now putting some pressure on here in this near corner. Long pass through the neutral zone, too far for its intended target, but beating out that icing on the play. Good hustle into the offensive zone by Anton Kozitsky. Loose puck up the far wall, as it's going to be sent back around behind the net. That goes off of a Drexel player, and that allows the Dragons to find possession of it. This is Sambuco with the puck now on his stick. Has some pressure on him, but gets it back down low. Drexel keeping possession here in that far corner. That's Jared Ortiz with the puck as he's trying to spin away from two different Rhode Island players. Gets it along to a teammate, but then that pass comes out in front. Nobody there to accept it, but Sambuca finding possession again on that far wall, and he gets a shot from a tough angle. Briggs makes the save, and again, Drexel finding possession, getting set up in the offensive zone, at least for a moment in that case. Rhode Island eventually finding possession and floating a pass through the neutral zone right in front of their bench that allows them to make a change, but they have to be smart about it as Drexel gets it back into the offensive zone. Now they execute a change. Pass up the near wall and dumped in across the blue line by Rhode Island as they get to finish their change right now, getting quickly out onto the ice to make sure that Drexel doesn't have a lane up that far side. And good thing that they did, as it was Nick Castura here up the left wing. If he would have had room, that's the wrong player to allow that kind of space to.
No question about it. I've seen Castura since he played high school hockey. He was an absolute force then. He's an absolute force now. Don't let that D on the position line fool you. He's an offensive firepower, to say the least.
Yeah, and he's been playing more of a forward position here in this game, despite the roster listing him as defense. Either way, if he's playing one spot or the other, he's certainly a threat when it comes to the offensive zone. The statistics back that up. Can't really say enough about the player in terms of his statistical ability. Certainly one of the more talented players on the ice here in this game.
He's one of those players who, whatever he needs to do to contribute, he absolutely can.
Certainly the most valuable type of players, especially those that average more than a point a game. 41 points on 30 games this season. Certainly a offensive force just by the numbers, and we've seen already in the first period and a half. He certainly backs up those numbers with the play on the ice. Faceoff coming up here in the Drexel zone. Maybe a little bit of a false start there, as Drexel might have had a player a little bit off sides on that faceoff. Didn't actually do anything with any sort of advantage that was there. And now play continues as icing is going to be called here on this play. Just winning that foot race back into his own zone was number 23, Ronan Judge. And with 8:06 to go in the period, we do another faceoff in the Drexel zone, where the last three faceoffs have been here in the second period.
Rhode Island getting the chances, but as we've seen earlier, Logan Kramsky, after giving up that centering pass goal earlier to Shaw, he seems to have come right back into his own, stepping up, playing aggressively at the edge of the crease, reading the angles really well. As long as he minimizes rebound chances, I think Drexel's going to be fine.
And you'd be hard-pressed to say that either goal is one that he would want back. The first one was a bullet shot into the top corner on the power play. The second one, a play that was moving across in front of him, where he had to be really quick to get from post to post. Neither of those are the type of saves that you expect a goaltender to make. He has certainly been more than solid here in this game.
Absolutely. To say he's a competent goaltender is an understatement.
He's got to play a little bit of goaltender position here as the puck's in behind his net. He has to make sure he knows where it's going as his defenseman changes course. Rhode Island forcing a turnover, trying to get an opportunity off of that one, was the original goal scorer in this game, Dylan Weichselbaumer. Good defense, though, to deny him any sort of lane to the front of the net.
That's just a terrific hockey name, too.
It really is. There are a couple excellent hockey names here in this game. Weichselbaumer is one of the first ones that you think of when you look at the rosters. Rhode Island forcing a turnover just inside their own blue line. The Dragons return the favor. Now they might have a chance themselves, but fanning on that shot as he carried it in over the blue line was Barrett Genovese. Still has possession over there on the far side as he tried to get a pass back to the point, but it's going to be Rhode Island finding possession and moving it back up ice in the form of Kevin Canizet. Puck in behind the Drexel net as they have plenty of time and space as Rhode Island looks to make a change. Set up some neutral zone pressure as they don't really need to in this case, as the long flip pass ends up going into the rafters here at Revolution Ice Arena, so we get a stoppage in play. 6:25 now remaining in the second period.
Face-off going to be in the... No, it's coming out into neutral territory. Face-off will be just above the Drexel blue line. So...
guess the ruling that was deflected before it went up into the rafters. Either way, the neutral zone face-off ensues. Scramble puck, and Drexel carries it forward through the neutral zone, but they get stood up there along the blue line, and then the hand pass is called by the back referee. This face-off will come up in the Rhode Island zone. There's a new gold standard for digital media solutions for small businesses. 412 Communications offers web and graphic design, social media consultation, public relations, writing and editing services, and much more. Visit them at 412communications.com to learn how they can help your brand build lasting relationships with your clientele. Puck moving here in the Rhode Island zone. They break the pressure, and Cordero carries it through the neutral zone. Drop pass right onto the stick of Mulhern, but he had a man right on him. Good defensive play as Jared Ortiz strong back into his own zone in the back check. Dragons try to push it up ice themselves, but good defense meeting them in the Rhode Island zone. As Drexel now settling it down in the neutral zone, but unable to really do much with that possession was number 7, Jared Ortiz, but he gets picked up by the defenseman Nick Urbani, and he gets it into the offensive zone. His fellow number 10, Zachary Bell, picks up that puck and looks to lead the breakout. Making that play, however, at the blue line, Nick Urbani, and he gets it shot in on goal. There's a rebound opportunity after the redirection. A golden opportunity for Ryan Sambuco to get his second of the game. Just couldn't quite get the angle on that shot, and he missed the net wide.
I think we're going to have to take another look at that at the next stoppage, Aaron. It was a grade A chance for Drexel, but just didn't have the angle on the end, as you said.
The initial shot came in from the point, was redirected, and the goaltender started to move at that point. There was a golden opportunity, though, as it came back to the near post, but unable to get it past the net, unable to get it inside the post, and now we're going to have a penalty call. Looks like a bench minor coming up on Rhode Island for too many men on the ice.
While they sort that out, let's take another look at this chance, Aaron.
Good work by Urbani to keep it in at the point. He had a man right on him. Got it in on goal, and it was a redirected pass.
Sambuco was right there, too, but on that quick trigger just didn't have the angle he needed.
Looked like he was more in a position where he was looking for a rebound chance that might have been there, and maybe the quick spinning deflection pass by Anton Kozitsky caught him just a touch off guard and not ready enough to get that shot quickly in on goal. That might have accounted for the misfire on the shot. However, it is a chance on the power play for Drexel, and an opportunity for them as we're under 5 minutes to go in the period to break this game open again. Puck comes into the slot. That was a great chance. And now the between the legs attempt, as it was Matt Harris trying to get that opportunity from in tight. Didn't quite execute the between the legs shot, and it's covered up by the Rhode Island goaltender. Briggs covering that one up with now 1:43 to go on the Primo power play. You too can score on the Primo power play. Visit your neighborhood Primo Hoagies, 1278 Baltimore Pike in Kennett Square, Pennsylvania, to experience Primo's old-fashioned style Italian specialty sandwiches. It's not just a hoagie, it's a Primo. 1:25 to go in the Drexel power play as they get it set up here along the blue line. Maybe a little bit of a decision that he would want back as Nick Urbani knocked that one down out of midair. It ended up out into the neutral zone. And now it's an opportunity for Rhode Island to kill some time off on this penalty. Pinning it to the near boards is going to be Dylan Weichselbaumer. 3 different Drexel players there trying to get that puck free. Great work by Wexelbaumer, killing off seconds here in this penalty. Harris eventually gets control of it, now into the offensive zone. 2 men on him, though, as he tries to establish that power play, get that formation set up. So far in this penalty kill, Rhode Island doing an excellent job of just creating that much more of a hassle for any of the Drexel puck carriers. Finally, McGinley walks the blue line, now carries it in up the right wing, tried to make that cross-ice pass. He had a man there. Lazine was just a little bit out of his reach. Shot from the point as Urbani had a lane to let it go, but a glove save made by Briggs, and he holds on for another whistle. Minute 31 gone on the power play so far, and both teams make some changes for the last portion of the man advantage.
Half a minute left. Chances coming in. Briggs standing his ground as he's done pretty consistently all season long. Like we talked about earlier, they've got to get him moving post to post. Drexel, that is, if they want to generate a solid chance at a go-ahead goal.
Great keep at the left point by Lazine that allows Drexel to set up their power play. Looking for Lazine there on the near wall. Hard pass from Kostura. Good defense, though, is getting the stick in that lane was the URI penalty killer. One-timer for Kostura on the far side. He got a lot on that one. Looked like there was the net fluttering just a little bit, but that was the outside of the cage. Good setup there as the Drexel power play unsuccessful, but they still had plenty of zone time and maybe have a little bit of momentum coming out of that power play.
Can they prolong it? That's the question here.
They still have possession as Lazine gets it back to the point. That shot just missing wide by Burkhan. Dragons keep possession. Now back to the point to Burkhan. Looks for that pass over to the far side. Kostura fanned on that one as he was tapping for that one-timer. Maybe it came across just a little bit later than he wanted it to originally.
Looked like he topped it and it dribbled almost to the white tees.
Mulhern getting it up ice and dumping it into the offensive zone. Now he goes for a change. Rhode Island's going to have to be quick with this change to avoid any sort of quick rush up ice. They attempt to do that as it's Kostura just outside the blue line, but he's got 3 different Rams on him. Rhode Island has a chance now to carry it back in across the blue line. Shot in on goal, pad save made by Kramsky. Good hard low shot let go by Dennis Engelson there. Drexel now countering back into the offensive zone. That puck bounces off a stick. Costello now looking to counter and take it back in the other direction. Engelson up the right wing wall. Across the blue line, that shot hits off a skate of the defenseman that ends up going wide. Now behind the Drexel net. As picking it up there is McGinley. Short pass, but unable to get it out of the zone on the first attempt is Harris. Rhode Island player falls down, then Harris is able to move it through the neutral zone, but Rhode Island picking up possession again, sent right back inside the offensive zone by Ronan Judge. A little bit of pressure there on Burkhan as his pass goes off the back of the net. Drexel now back through the neutral zone as we have a minute 24 to go in second period play. A lot in the neutral zone here over the last 30 seconds or so of action. URI settling it down along their blue line. First pass connected on up that far wall, and they get it in across the blue line. Drexel, though, finding possession, looking to counter quickly. Here comes Harrison across the blue line. Just delayed a little bit there before carrying it across the Rhode Island blue line. That ends up resulting in an offsides call. So with a minute 5 to go in the period, it will be a neutral zone face-off. Should be right in front of the Drexel bench.
And that's exactly where the Lions people spot this face-off. As we mentioned, Aaron, the Drexel transition game better, their zone time better, but on the counter side of that, Rhode Island has been clogging up the slot and doing their part too.
We talked about it off the outset that this was a matchup of teams that split their 4 different meetings during the regular season. A lot of close games out of those 4 meetings, so certainly.
And these 39 minutes, if you don't mind me interjecting, these 39 minutes have proven that to a T. This matchup, yes, 3-6 on paper, but on the ice, a completely different story.
And the goals, 2-2. Shots are currently 21-19 in favor of Rhode Island. This game is about as even as it possibly can be. Remember, though, the Rams got a goal within the last 30 seconds of the first period. Still plenty more time for both sides to try to create something before we get to second intermission. Nick Urbani keeps it in here at the left point for Drexel. His shot goes wide. Then the net
came off.
Yeah, the net comes off its moorings as referee blows the play dead. 16.1 seconds now left on the clock here in period number 2. It's going to be an offensive zone draw coming up for Drexel, and they make a change to get 5 fresh skaters out there for this offensive zone draw. Actually, just 3. The forwards making a change.
McGinley, Harris, and Sambuco. They've got the big guns out, Aaron.
They get possession off the faceoff. Harris shot right in on goal. Save is made by Briggs. Didn't look like a very comfortable save, as it maybe was one of those shots that handcuffed him a little bit. 4 seconds to go in the period. Maybe enough time for URI to get one last chance of the wraparound. Good save by Kramsky, as it didn't seem like there was enough time for an opportunity, but Thomas Fagan saw plenty of time on the clock and was quick enough to get around the post to make that last-second bid to break the tie, but it stays 2-2 after 2 periods of play. Both teams head to the locker room for the second intermission, setting up a third period that should be just as entertaining as the first 2.
Bridges have connected people for centuries. When it comes to helping small businesses build bridges with the people they serve, there's a new gold standard. 412 Communications offers a uniquely comprehensive array of media solutions to help your brand establish and maintain strong, lasting connections with your clientele.
There's nothing all-American quite like a good old-fashioned barbecue. Sid's Barbecue and Jerky brings the most tender and flavorful pulled pork, brisket, and barbecue chicken to the tri-state area and is sure to turn your next gathering into a truly all-American event. Visit Sid's on Ridge Road in Claymont, Delaware, or place your next catering order at sidsbbqandjerky.com.
Let's face it, saving for retirement doesn't happen overnight. It takes planning, and Limestone Pension Associates has spent the past 35 years helping small businesses do just that. Limestone specializes in crafting, planning, and handling the day-to-day administration of qualified pension plans tailor-fit to your company's needs and objectives. To schedule a consultation, call 302-479-8817 or visit limestonepension.net to learn more.
It's time for the third period. Let's head back upstairs to James Witherite.
Thank you, Norm Borg. Welcome back into the Delaware Hockey Network, presented by Long & Greenberg, and their coverage of the 2023 Eastern States Collegiate Hockey League Tournament. And Aaron Alpern, that second period saw the Drexel Dragons really start to find their groove. Goals from both Ryan Sambuco and Anton Kazitsky, 19th and 12th of the season, respectively. They're back in this one.
Yeah, it was a pretty even first period until very late in the frame. The late power play goal from Dylan Weichselbaumer giving Rhode Island the lead after the first period. But as you said, Drexel really finding its footing there in period number 2. They got 2 quick answers and had a 2-1 lead before Jonathan Shaw's 4th of the year made it a tie game. Rhode Island looking for that first opportunity here in the third period. They had the numbers into the offensive zone, unable to get that shot in on goal, though.
Aaron, the breakout is there. The entry into the zone is there. The puck movement is there. But the stay-at-home Rhode Island defense remains Drexel's Achilles heel. Not only Briggs, but he's got a ton of support in front of him inside the dots.
And we talked about it in the pregame show about how this is a stingy Rhode Island defensive unit, only allowing 2.68 goals per game. Drexel has the 2. They might need that third goal, go a little bit above the average in order to come out with a victory here on this one. They have to play some defense right now as driving towards the net. Move towards the backhand. Great save by Kramsky as it was Fagan looking to sneak that one 5-hole.
That secondary shot took a close inbounds too. Kramsky thanking his lucky stars. He wasn't in position for the second one, but the Dragons able to work back into neutral territory before recovering the puck was Ethan Cordero and leading it back into Drexel's end.
Third period starting much the way the first 2 periods have been. Plenty of opportunities at both ends of the ice. Rhode Island getting a couple of early chances here to start off the third period of play. But still, it's been a very even game throughout. The score and shots on goal certainly back that up. 23-20 in terms of shots on goal in this 2-2 hockey game. Rhode Island finding possession and almost an errant pass off the side of the net. Netminder Briggs had to make sure he was aware of everything that was going on to make sure that nothing untoward happened there around his goal crease. They get the puck out into the neutral zone, but bringing it right back in across the blue line. Nick Urbani, his opportunity allows Drexel to get themselves set up here in the offensive zone, and there's a pass from in front, right onto the tape of Matt Harris. He rips a hard snapshot past the netminder Briggs, and Drexel has the third goal of the game. Not even a little bit more than 2 minutes and change into the third period. The Dragons take the lead, and it's Matt Harris getting the go-ahead goal, his 20th of the season.
Good puck movement at the left circle, the give and go, and Harris cutting into the slot with 2:05 elapsed.
That's what you hope for on that give and go play, James, that both defenders will commit to the one player and leave that more dangerously positioned player wide open. In that case, there was just enough room for Harris to let that shot go and pinpoint accuracy to give the Drexel Dragons a 3-2 lead. The 6th seed out in front of the 3 seed here in the quarterfinals of the Eastern States Collegiate Hockey League playoffs.
And the underdog Dragons now with their second lead of the game in what's been a back and forth tilt from the opening bell.
Pretty much a back and forth season series between these two teams. Each team winning 2 games of the 4 regular season matchups. Those results don't really matter a whole lot right now. It is this playoff result that each team is after at this point. At the 17-14 minute mark of period number 3, it is Drexel with the 3-2 lead. Planning for retirement doesn't happen overnight. For 35 years, however, Limestone Pension Associates has helped small businesses craft and administer pension plans for their workforces. Learn more at limestonepension.net to see how they can help your retirement planning. Dragons into the offensive zone after getting the go-ahead goal. Ryan Sambuca trying to help out and add to that lead. Puck comes back to the point. Hard wrist shot there by Carver. That one goes wide. Back out to the far side as the Dragons maintain possession here in the offensive zone. Sambuca unable to keep it in there on the near wall, but he comes back into a good defensive position, allowing his team to help move it back up ice. 1-on-3 into the offensive zone now. Still getting a good shot away was Anton Kazitsky. He's got one of the 3 Drexel goals. He was looking for a second one there, but Briggs up to the challenge, making a good stop there, keeping this one a 3-2 hockey game.
20 saves for Curtis Briggs. Just like his counterpart Logan Kramsky. Great on the angles as long as he minimizes rebound chances. Generally speaking, he's pretty rock solid.
His team in front of him getting some possession here after the faceoff in their own zone. Have to reverse course up the far side. Now a little bit of difficulty there as 2 Drexel players right on top of the forecheck. Puck pinned to the boards right next to the Rhode Island bench. Rams still can't get it out. Finally, they get possession. Now a little bit of room to work as they maneuver it to this near wall and then finally get it out to center ice. Quickly sending it back in across the blue line, though, is Ben Burkham. Rams unable to connect on that pass up the far wall, and it comes back into Drexel territory. The defenseman Nick Urbani stopping behind the net there and then starting the breakout. Rolling puck in front of the Drexel bench, settled down there, and now walking the blue line before starting that pass up ice. Number 20, Evan Mudrick. Drexel gets it deep here in the offensive zone, but Rhode Island with the numbers advantage where that puck is. They get it just past a streaking player that was driving into the offensive zone to try to keep that one inside the blue line. Good play to make sure they got it out. Now they get it into the offensive zone. That shot coming from distance kind of floated a little bit on Weichselbaumer. I think it caught the netminder Kramsky a little bit off guard as well as he went reaching for it and realized he didn't have that one timed quite properly.
Wow, what a save there by Briggs, denying even Ian Hoover, who took aim from the top of the zone.
Had a little bit of a screen set up there as well, and he got a lot on that slap shot. Pretty neat glove save, though, as Briggs flashes the leather and shows a fairly difficult save, I would imagine, make it look pretty easy. Quick shot coming in off the faceoff. That one just missing the net wide. Now back in through the neutral zone. Drexel doing a good job of getting that defensive zone set up in the neutral zone, not allowing Rhode Island's breakout to get up ice. Now they have it in the offensive zone again. Pressure on the far wall coming in the form of McGinley. 2-on-3 over there for Drexel, and they force a loose puck and keep it moving in the offensive zone. Shot from the point, bounces in front of Briggs. Good play by the stick to get that one off towards the corner. Puck comes up the near wall and back into the Drexel territory. Ian Hoover going back there for it, looking to set up the breakout, but he's got a man right on him. Getting that puck to the far boards, and now Rhode Island causes that loose puck. Cordero might have an opportunity here. Good play, though, as the most recent goal scorer, Matt Harris, got just enough of that puck to knock it out into the neutral zone.
Nifty stick check from him to force the Rams to have to regroup in neutral territory.
Very subtle play, and now Rhode Island making a change here, so some room up this near wall. Unable to get it past that pressure and get it deep into the offensive zone, however, was Jimmy Bell, and now back into the Drexel territory where it's Harris behind his net. Approaching 14 minutes to play in the third period. Drexel enjoying a 3-2 lead. They have the only goal here in this period. Puck carrier Harris is the one who scored that goal as he dumps it in just across the blue line. Got a teammate there who spins around an opponent. Burkham, though, unable to maintain possession. It comes around behind the net. This is going to be Costello looking to move it up the left wing. Pass over to the far side. Engelson then dumps it here into the near corner. Played by the stick of the netminder Kramsky, and now Urbani has a little bit of room to skate it up the left wing for the Drexel Dragons. Unable to cleanly get that in across the blue line. A good stick check there from Rhode Island that allows them to gain possession, but they're unable to maintain it. As now moving it back up ice is Drexel, and just a little bit too far for Emil Lindvall. And it's the Rams moving it back through the neutral zone, dumping it in deep. Setting up some pressure now is Corey Szabo. Szabo gets in the way of that pass, gets it down in front of the net. Good defense, though, as making sure not leaving the zone there with the 2 defenders down low for Drexel. Ben Burkham making sure he was in the way of that pass towards the front of the net. 2 players from each team trying to find possession as the puck is below the scoreboard behind the Drexel net. 2:55 remaining here in the period as the puck comes back to the point. Quickly D-to-D for the Rams. Shot coming in. It doesn't get it all the way in on the goal, though. Drexel getting the clear and then sending that one the length of the ice. This one's going to go for icing. 12:42 now remaining here in the period. So maybe a bit of a tired group out there for Drexel. Certainly one player already on a knee over there on the far side, that Ben Burkham, as the defenseman trying to make sure he's ready for this next defensive zone draw.
Comes to the left of Kramsky in to take this face-off is Jackson Shevlin. Across from Ortiz.
Key win there for Drexel as they need possession to get that puck out. Still have that possession, but they're unable to really move it up that wing very smoothly as Rhode Island having enough bodies there to cram the area a little bit. Finally, Drexel, though, does get the clear. Now they can make that change. Rhode Island trying to catch them in the change. That pass is off the mark, though, and that one will go for icing. So now it will be Rhode Island with the 5 players that are unable to come off the ice, and the fresh group of Dragons on for this face-off coming up in the zone to our right.
Prime opportunity for Drexel to make this a 4-2 hockey game. Ortiz in for the draw once again. As solid a face-off man as you can want for this Dragons side. And Sambuco lining up in the slot. Potent offensive firepower for the Dragons, and they've proven all season they're not lacking in that department at all.
They won the face-off, but didn't really do a whole lot with it. They had to regroup in the neutral zone. Now back, setting up some pressure here in the near corner. That's Ortiz doing the work there up against the near boards. Has a teammate, Kazitsky, joining him there, trying to pry that puck free, but it's still pinned against a couple of different skates there in that near corner. Finally comes free around the far side, where it's going to be Barcelou looking to start the breakout. Nice move to get away from one forechecker. First pass hits a skate. Barcelou still with possession of it here, but he loses it. Now it could be some numbers here for Drexel. Shot quickly taken there as Kazitsky had to maneuver himself just to have room to take that shot. Nifty footwork in order just to be able to get that shot away. Good save by Briggs to deny the opportunity, but didn't really think there was a whole lot there until that last moment. Still got a good shot away. Actually, that was Sambuco doing the work there in the near dot as he had to kind of step over the puck just to get that shot free. Rhode Island gets the clear, but it's sent right back in across the blue line. Reversing course and sending it around to the near side is number 4, Logan Clavitt. Out across the blue line into the neutral zone, then dumped into the offensive zone. Luke Judge making sure that one gets deep in the offensive end. Dragons get it to the blue line, then get it out. Sent right back in by Rhode Island, but plenty of Drexel players there ready to set things up and start that regroup and move it up through the neutral zone. Initial pass hits a skate, and that could give Rhode Island a chance with some numbers. This is Canizet carrying it in up the right wing. He has a lane, gets the shot on goal. There was a rebound there briefly as Kramsky made the initial save. Somebody there looking for a rebound, just unable to settle it down. Luke Judge was in the neighborhood as the nice, quickly developing play in the offensive zone for the Rhode Island Rams as they're starting to maybe get their footing here in this third period. Trailing by a goal, however, approaching the 10-minute mark.
Logan Kramsky up with another pair of solid textbook saves, flashing the leather for the stoppage on the second one.
He's a big reason why his team has this 3-2 lead. The 24 saves that he has made here in this game, I would say there are a greater percentage of those high danger chances that Rhode Island's created versus what Drexel has created in this game. However, all that really matters is what you do with your opportunities. There are 3 goals on the board for the Dragons. That's why they have the advantage here, 3-2. Go ahead, James.
Sorry, Aaron. And even the 2 that Rhode Island did get past Kramsky, really not much he could have done about those anyway. One a rocket, the other a 2-on-1. You're not going to be losing sleep over either of those.
Rhode Island picking that puck up in their own zone. Costello starting it out. Up the left wing to Thomas Fagan, who gets it deep, now putting some pressure on himself. Runs into the defenseman behind the net, loses his stick in the process, but he still has some help there from Mulhern on the forecheck. Puck comes off these near boards, takes a funny bounce that might allow Rhode Island to do something here in the offensive zone. Good pressure, though, as making sure that that play really wasn't able to develop. Cordero caught that one over by the near boards. Not a whole lot of room to maneuver, though, as a player takes a spill after the whistle, and now we have a little bit of conversation between players from either side. Linesman getting over there to make sure that nothing escalates too quickly. Don't think there are going to be any penalties coming out of that. Maybe just a warning to each side as we are under 10 minutes to play in regulation.
Aaron, you also as an official know a lot of game management doesn't involve the use of the whistle. A stern talking to, absolutely enough to keep the temperature of this game, which has never really been out of control, in check.
Anytime there is a tightly contested game, though, anything along those lines can boil pretty quickly. So that management of the way the game is being played, probably a smart thing from the officials in this case.
Absolutely.
Jacob Kelly with some fancy footwork in his own zone that allows him some room to skate it up the near wall. All the way in towards the Drexel net. Shot in on goal as well. Kramski making another stop. That is 25 now. Offensive zone draw coming up for the Rams. They win that face-off, but they can't set up anything, and then they take a penalty. So the face-off is won cleanly back. However, Alex Cudd had to maneuver himself in order to gain control of that puck. That allowed a Drexel player to grab control of it and streak up ice. Cudd, in the reactionary move, takes the tripping penalty. So that brings up another Primo Power Play. Remember, you too can score on the Primo Power Play. Visit your local neighborhood Primo Hoagies, 1278 Baltimore Pike in Kennett Square, Pennsylvania, to experience Primo's old-fashioned style Italian specialty sandwiches. It's not just a hoagie, it's a Primo. This could really be an opportunity to create a little bit of separation here for the Dragons. This big power play with 9 minutes to go in the third period. They get the formation set up around the perimeter with that umbrella formation. A couple of passes around the outside and then across through the middle. A little bit of pressure, though, from Rhode Island. They have to get things settled down and back into the middle. Urbani now with the pass over to the far side in towards the slot. Quick one-touch attempt there by Sambuco, and it hits a skate. Now Rhode Island looking for the clear. They get it through the neutral zone, and it comes slowly back into the Drexel territory. Now trying to catch Rhode Island in a change. Sambuco in across the blue line. They get it set up quickly in the offensive zone. That's Jared Ortiz. Back over here to Sambuco. He walks in and lasers a wrist shot in on goal. There was a screen in front of the net for a brief moment, as that was McGinley stepping in front of the netminder. Good save by Briggs to see through that screen, make the glove save, and hold on for a whistle. Minute 12 now remaining in this Drexel power play.
Fresh legs on for the Dragons, but they'll be sent back into their own zone as Rhode Island clears immediately off the draw.
Even on the power play, I got to imagine that Drexel's going to want to keep these shifts as short as possible for the duration of this game. Don't want to chance anybody being stuck out there, overextending a shift and creating any opportunities for the opposition. That's how you play with a one-goal lead. They're going to be smart about how they execute the rest of this power play. Still 45 seconds, as they want to make sure they don't give any freebies to the opposition in this case. Back to the point, winding up with that slap shot. Number 11, Ben Birkin, looking for his first of the year. Right in on goal. Pretty clean look there from Briggs, and he makes another stop. This one his 24th of the game. 37 seconds now remaining on this Drexel power play. Interesting that the Drexel power play, James, the leading scorer, Nick Kostura, is on the second unit. Clearly, they have balanced things out here. They have a lot of dangerous offensive players. They almost get that play set up as Kostura was looking towards that backdoor play. He had Adam Lazine there, just couldn't quite get that pass through. Still 20 seconds.
And there's, like we talked about before, Rhode Island clogging up the slot, especially on the PK, and making those cross-slot passes incredibly hard for Drexel to connect.
That one finally got across to Lazine. His quick shot on goal, handled by Briggs. Best opportunity of the power play, however, still 5 seconds remaining in that man advantage. No rush, though, from Ben Birkin as he lets the penalty expire. Now back to 5-on-5 as we approach 7 minutes to play. Drexel slowly maneuvering it through the neutral zone, getting it in across the blue line. Now trying to put a little bit of forecheck pressure on, but again, being smart about that defensive positioning. All 5 players back into the defensive zone, but a chance across anyway. The pass didn't quite get through initially as the defenseman got a stick on it. It did finally stick in the crease, though, and able to put it home. The Drexel Dragons give up a goal where it looked like they had stopped the play. The Rams have tied it up, though, as we're under 7 minutes to play. Getting a look at the replay here, a transition play with plenty of speed into the offensive zone. So you watch driving towards that back post. It was Luke Judge. The pass didn't get to him in that initial try. The defenseman got in the way, but the puck sat there. Judge smartly didn't drive by. He stopped at that far post, stayed with the play, tucked it into the empty net. It's a 3-3 hockey game. Plenty of drama setting up for the last 7 minutes, James.
No question about that, Aaron. Like you said, centering pass. Kramski committed to the far post. Judge able to find that loose puck. Had plenty of net to work with. And off the bell setup, he got the job done to tie this game up.
See if Rhode Island has momentum after getting that tying goal, and what sort of the response shift is on this next group out here for Drexel. Harris with the puck along the near wall, unable to get it out of the zone now. Good hit though, as the response there from Ian Hoover, throwing the shoulder into his opponent there. He was on the ice for that goal. It was his stick that got in the way of that clearing, or that pass in front of the crease. He made the initial play, but the unfortunate ended up where that puck ended up developing the opportunity for Rhode Island. So obviously he's out there trying to make amends, doing some good work there in his own zone, delivering a big hit to deny an offensive zone opportunity. His teammates now up ice as he goes for a change, just in across the Rhode Island blue line, but they're unable to really set anything up in the offensive zone. Now back into the neutral zone as Rhode Island looks to regroup. Puck floated high back through the neutral zone, settled down along the Drexel blue line by the defenseman Burkhand, and then it's quickly up ice into the offensive zone. Genovese letting a shot go. Briggs had a difficult time handling it the first attempt. Finally cleared it out. Now scramble for a loose puck in front of the net. Drexel sticking with it. Now they have possession again in front of in the offensive zone. Stick comes up high on a Drexel player. No call coming though, despite the head going back there after it looked like that stick came up in the head or neck area of the Drexel player. Rhode Island now here in the offensive zone, looking for that pass. Sliding in from the point there is Shaw as he let that shot go. Whistle being blown though before that puck's tucked into the empty net as the net came off of its moorings. Drexel players over there to have a quick conversation with Dennis Engelson, as he was the player that ended up putting it in the empty net. Now the referee throwing his 2 cents into that conversation as well. Maybe a little bit more of the game management that is probably a requirement here in the last 5 minutes of a tie game.
Not waiting enough for an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty, but because of the encroachment on the post-whistle dust-up, this face-off comes back outside the Drexel blue line.
And Drexel quickly into the offensive zone, where it is going to be Castura setting a play up there. Quickly out in front, and the helmet comes off for the netminder Briggs, even though he makes the save. Getting a little bit of help now for the referee, who helps him collect his equipment. Briggs seems to be none the too worse for wear. He's ready for another faceoff in the dot to his right. Couldn't be any more even here in this game. It's a 3-3 score. Shots are 31-30 in favor of Rhode Island. We have 4:43 to go in regulation. Certainly setting up to be a great finish here on the Delaware Hockey Network.
No question at all. And the thing about the 3-6 game is...
Oh, there's the 3 seed taking the lead. Dylan Weichselbaumer had the first goal of the game for Rhode Island. He's got the go-ahead goal now with 4:29 to go in the third period. He had a lane up the left wing, carried it all the way in tight, fired a perfect shot up over the left-hand arm of the netminder. As you see, just enough room to get that shot free, waited for the goalie to drop down into the butterfly and put it up top. Weichselbaumer's second of the game gives the Rams a 4-3 lead.
And he gets all the credit for that one from start to finish, Aaron.
Well deserved.
So Weichselbaumer with the go-ahead goal in a back and forth hockey game that has had no shortage of anxious moments for both sides.
2 goals in less than 2 minutes have allowed the Rhode Island Rams to flip the script on this one. Looked like Drexel was in position to score an upset of sorts here in this game. It is the 6-3 matchup, but we've talked numerous times about their even matchups throughout the regular season. This was a pretty even affair throughout this one, but it is the last couple of minutes of play that has allowed the Rhode Island Rams to take a lead, and they have that lead as we approach 3.5 minutes to go in regulation. Bouncing puck into the offensive zone. Drexel unable to find possession of it. It comes back out into the neutral zone. Birkin drives it back across the blue line. Sent back out into center ice, where Kazitsky will send it back in across the blue line. Getting some help from Barrett Genovese, but unable to do a whole lot there along the near wall, and it's back into Drexel territory, where the defenseman Nick Urbani looks to start the breakout up that left wing wall. Unable to get away from some pressure up that wall, and that shot's taken by Weichselbaumer as he created that turnover in the neutral zone. then got that scoring opportunity for himself. Almost another opportunity as it was Canizet gloving that puck down, but he couldn't quite get around the defenseman and let a shot go. Nick Urbani in the neutral zone makes that pass, but he takes a big hit. Back into his position now as it's going to be Drexel setting it up here in the offensive zone, but it's going to be a penalty coming up against Rhode Island. There was a hit against the far wall over here in the near corner. It's a tripping call being signaled. This is a big chance at a time when Drexel certainly needs that big chance. This is their power play opportunity late in the game, and it certainly couldn't have come at a better time. This is the key moment in the game, I would say right now, James. 2:47 to go in regulation. A 2-minute power play as Mike Costello takes the tripping call for Rhode Island.
Absolutely crunch time for Drexel. They've got the firepower out. They've got Sambuco. They've got Urbani at the point. Ortiz to take the draw. McGinley, the big guns are on for this Dragons power play. Now's the time.
Harris and Ortiz create a loose puck on the far side. Ortiz's pass doesn't get across. Harris now has it set up on that far wall, getting back to the midpoint. Look there as it was a low to high look. Sambuco trying to find a man along the goal line. The pass doesn't connect. Sambuco now with the puck back on his stick. Gets it back to Urbani, and the two of them play catch at the midpoint. Urbani tries to walk around the defenseman and get a shot away. Blocked on that play. Weichselbaumer knocking it down and then trying to send a clearing pass up that far wall. He ends up depositing it into the Rhode Island bench. So this faceoff will end up coming in the neutral zone, it appears. It'll be right in front of that Rhode Island bench. A minute 28 still remaining on the power play. Faceoff is won by the Dragons, and Sambuco carries it in across the blue line. Takes a hit right there. Nice play defensively, not only to get him free of that puck, but to get the clear as well. Dennis Engelson there on the penalty kill. Minute 12 on the power play. Minute 58 to go in regulation as Engelson again finds a loose puck. This time he sends it back into the Drexel zone, then goes to the bench for a change. Full minute remaining in the power play now. Seems to be stuck in neutral at the moment as another loose puck is created. Now Weichselbaumer carries it into the offensive zone. Another hard snapshot. Weichselbaumer can really wire that one, looking for a shorthanded goal for his third of the game. And Kramsky had to make another good stop there to deny Weichselbaumer. Settled down and carried into the offensive zone. Nice move by Sambuco to get himself free of the defenseman. He ends up taking a hit there in towards the corner, driving it in towards the referee. Drexel net is empty now as they get the extra attacker out there. 6-on-4 now for the next 25 seconds. Shot in on goal. Is that one taken from distance? Birkin right in on goal, but pretty easily handled by Briggs and then cleared the length of the ice. Only 13 seconds remaining in the man advantage when we're under a minute in regulation.
1 minute.
Back into the offensive zone. Harris the first one to the puck. He takes a bump on the far wall up against that backboards. 3 players down low for Drexel trying to force that loose puck. Eventually it does come free to that far corner, but there are a couple of Rams waiting for it there. Engelson trying to get the clear, but he can't get it out of the zone. Finally, McGinley makes sure it stays down low. Only 33 seconds remaining, though. Maze of bodies there behind the Rhode Island net. Finally, the whistle is blown as the referee sees not a whole lot of activity to get that puck free. So it's going to be a face-off in the offensive zone for Drexel, I believe, as we have a little bit of a conversation between the officials, making sure they know where they want that draw, and it will be on that far dot as it appears we have a timeout being called. Watching the game or tailgating with friends? Score big and serve in style with Primo Hoagie's party trays and sampler platters. There's no bigger crowd pleaser than Primo Hoagie's, made only with the highest quality Thuman's meats and cheese, sliced fresh to order and served on Primo's award-winning seated rolls. You get the best tasting hoagies in the area and save time on preparation yourself. Stop into your local neighborhood Primo Hoagie's on Baltimore Pike in Kennett Square, Pennsylvania, or order your tray online, primohoagies.com. It's not just a hoagie, it's a Primo. So we get the last second instructions from both coaching staffs to their players here. We have 28.2 seconds remaining here in regulation. Rhode Island protecting a late lead that they have earned here in this third period. Drexel came out of the break, broke a 2-2 tie, and looked like they would be on their way towards an upset victory. 2 goals within 2 minutes in time, and it's Rhode Island flipping the script and going out ahead 4-3. Now they send this one the length of the ice. It's going to go far enough for icing. So 8 seconds off the clock. Now exactly 20 remaining here in regulation. Rhode Island getting the face-off win and the clear, but they'll have to do that at least one more time, if not 2 or 3 before the end of regulation, if they're going to come out of this one successful and move on to the next round. A Rhode Island win guarantees a matchup with Niagara tomorrow. If Drexel can come back and win this one, they will get the top seed Pittsburgh tomorrow. Here's a turnaround shot for Harris as he tries to force the tie. Can't get that one in on goal. Drexel, though, maintains possession. Shot coming from the point. That one's blocked as there were 4 or 5 players from both sides in front of the net there, clogging the front. And getting the block was the Rhode Island defenseman. They then send it the length of the ice again. Icing is the call. Now just 4.8 seconds. This is going to be probably that last face-off of the period of the game. If it's unsuccessful for Drexel, they're going to have to create something right off of this draw. On there for this important face-off, it's Jared Ortiz. Scrambled face-off. Drexel gets possession, but the pass is off the mark. Comes rolling back into the center ice area, and that'll do it. The Rhode Island Rams have avoided a scare, and they needed 2 goals in quick succession late in the third period to do so. They picked up those goals when they needed to, though, and they'll win this one by a score of 4-3. The number 3 seed will take on the number 2 seeded Niagara in tomorrow's semifinal round of the Eastern States Collegiate Hockey League playoffs. It's a 4-3 victory for the Rhode Island Rams.
Fans here on the 6-3 side of the game, presented by 6 Barbecue and Jerky in Claymont, Delaware. Today's third start with 31 saves for Rhode Island, Curtis Briggs. Today's second star with a goal and assist for Drexel, number 6, Matt Harris. And the number 1 star of the game with 2 goals for Rhode Island, including the game-winning goal, number 14, Dylan Weisselbacher.
Dylan Weisselbacher, a very worthy first-star choice. 2 goals in the game and the game winner. He had the lid lifter and the exclamation point at the end. Not only the first goal of the game, but the game winner there as he drove it in up the left side, beat the goaltender high glove side. Dylan Weisselbacher, his 15th and 16th of the season, and that's enough to send the Rhode Island Rams into the semifinals where they will face Niagara tomorrow.
Coming up next on the Delaware Hockey Network, our second quarterfinal matchup. It'll be Delaware and Stony Brook squaring off in the 4-5 tilt. And with Rhode Island as the 3 seed punching their ticket to see number 2 Niagara. The winner of Seawolves and Blue Hens will have a Saturday afternoon date with the Pitt Panthers.
Certainly sets up to be a great matchup in our second quarterfinal coming up here.
You couldn't ask for a better 6-3 game.
Well,
it was.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of the opener here, if that's the way that the whole weekend goes, I think we've signed up for a heck of a weekend of hockey. A game. This is supposed to be the most lopsided one on paper, and it was a back and forth affair, multiple lead changes. You know, if that's the way the whole weekend goes, I think not only everyone here at the Revolution Ice Center, but everyone watching at home on the Delaware Hockey Network is certain to enjoy a lot of great hockey, as we expected coming into this weekend.
Absolutely, Aaron. And we're going to break away here. We'll reconvene in about 49 minutes for the second half of our Friday doubleheader, as coming up next, as Aaron mentioned, and as yours truly mentioned, Stony Brook and Delaware will square off in the second quarterfinal and that game due off at 7 p.m.
That should just about do it for this broadcast. Thank you for joining us with the live coverage on the Delaware Hockey Network of the Eastern States Collegiate Hockey League playoffs, live from the Revolution Ice Center in Pittston, Pennsylvania. Our final score again, the Rhode Island Rams 4, the Drexel Dragons 3. Rhode Island will face Niagara in the semifinals of the Eastern States Collegiate Hockey League playoffs. That game taking place tomorrow. We still have one more quarterfinal matchup, that of course being Delaware against Stony Brook, taking place in about 45 minutes. For our camera operators, Mark McClure, Jeff Jazarowski, color analyst James Witherite, my name's Aaron Elpern. Thank you for joining our broadcast, and enjoy the rest of your Friday night.